Welcome, everybody. This is Day Trading Options Daily Review for June 22nd, 2015. Can you make 10% in 10 minutes? Yeah, you can. And we're going to show you probably 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 examples of why that could happen today. The thing is there's 2 problems that people have when they trade. One is fear and one is greed. Like, oh, it's going the wrong way or whatever. And of course, that drives the market down pretty quickly. And then greed, of course, drives the market up a little bit slower. But what happens is if we hit that 10%, we hit that 11%, we think, oh, come on, baby. It's like a horse race, Come on, number 5, lucky Alan, let's go, another 2%. Yes, all right, I got it. Well, let's go for another 4%. And of course, eventually what happens is all trends die and they turn on you, and then it tends to go the opposite direction a little bit faster, and you lose all the money that you made. Warren Buffett once was asked, well, how did he make so much money? And he said, I got in too late and I got out too early. In other words, he made sure that the trend was there, the trend is your friend, and he made sure he got out before it was over, because when it was over, usually there's a bit of a bloodbath. And that's what we're telling you too. So get in, make your 10%, get out, and then you're done. If you want to get in and trade another account or something like that, great. But we're really talking about your bread and butter, paying the rent, all that sort of stuff. And then you can go and you can do a whole bunch of other stuff after you've paid your rent, because this industry is notorious for people that made $1 million and lost it the next week. And we don't want that to be you. So with that said, Alan, he's Alan, I'm Scott. Welcome to the show, and we'd like to see what happened on June 22nd. Alan, were we able to, make a couple percentage points?
Oh yeah, no problem. And I actually have a friend who did make all kinds of money in options and then lost all of it. He was up a few $1 million.
Mm-hmm. It's sad.
Yeah, and anyway, so there he is. He's working at a bank now. This was a few years ago. He lost all that money, but it was just like, you got a job as a teller at the bank, but you had a few million, like I think it was 8-9 million. Anyway, so that gets into risk management. We cover that kind of stuff in general in the course. I know this is not training, so we're just people want to say, well, can it be done? Using the signals, yes, here's one. I set up one for you already. And, without all the indicators, it's hard to tell. It's like, well, is now a good time or not? And this thing down here is volume. It's like, well, it hasn't beaten that bottom that it had before. And, oh, it's a 7-day break is right there. Anyways, all those things are helpful. It actually makes trading easier, which of course is the whole point. So here we are. I liked it at this point because I've got signal color happening here. So that was pretty good. And the market is generally running red. And this stock, it says, is good for red and good for volume. So I hit the old buy button. Let me just put that right on screen. So we're going to go forward 1 minute and see how that turned out. So it actually went even further and came back. So that would have been your 10% in 1 minute. But seeing as we just didn't see it hit the bottom and come back, let's go forward 1 minute. Now you're at 15%. So, I think that's good enough. And but I'm going to tell you, what's that?
Not bad.
Well, yeah, here's something, though, for those that want to make more. Here's a clue that there's more money on the table, that everything is looking really nicely for red. Now, I'm going to just cancel, I'm just going to keep going forward here just to see how it behaves. Now, that means that there's going to probably be another setup that I'm just going to take my money now. But if we go forward and see how it looks, there's probably another setup here for, similar rules, right? We're not changing the rules all that much. So here it's about to break the previous low that it already hit for today. So, the market's a little bit scrappy. That's what the cloud thing says for us. And we're not just going to say, well, let's just see here. I've got signal. It's getting pretty close to the bottom. The market is still kind of red. I'm not going to bother putting the sell on here. I'm just going to look and see how it behaves. So, some of the market's gone green, but this thing is still going nicely red. And you've got the indicators telling you that, yeah, it's a good thing. And it starts to ease off. Anyways, let's go look at a more traditional, what we normally teach you guys kind of trade. Let's go look at another stock. Another one here that follows the rules. Oh my, you don't really want to follow rules, do you? Yes, I do, because then I know what the heck I'm doing. So here, the market is still looking kind of red. This is below a previous low. It's looking pretty good. It's actually looking near a 20-day low. That's what that says right there, 20-day break. It's actually punched through it. So at this moment, I like it enough that I would go buy it on the put side. So I know there's a bit of a green candle there, but that didn't bother me. It's hanging down here. It's out of the risk zone. I've got lots of indicators. Everything's looking good. I'm going to go forward 1 minute. You can see that it would have given you more than your 10% in that drop down there. You're at 19%. I'm just going to say thanks so much. And because it was a break below and the market's strong, and you said, you know, you should be looking for red, it likes all that. Did it keep going? Well, you can see it went quite a ways more. So if you wanted to hang in there and make some more money, you can, but there was clues that said that that was a better one for hanging on to. And some days we don't have moments like this. So we're going to go at some other days, look at some mediocre bad days where you can't expect to get some more money out of it. You still might get your 10%, but don't expect, you know, 30, 40, 50%. So we're going to go look at another trade. And sometimes I had an email just the other day. A fellow says, well, you know, I can't trade during the hours that you're talking about. It just doesn't work for me. You know, can you show us a couple more trades at a different time of day? And I said, okay, I'll do that. So let's go look at this stock because it does a setup for that. And you see, look, I mean, this is just junk right here. There's nothing here. It's sideways, sideways, sideways. Nothing going on except right here. It looks like it's going to strongly carry on where it was before. This morning, it went down strong, and then it went sideways. The market's red, same old stuff. Volume's good. This looks like the beginning of a strong move. So that's worth the risk of getting in. So we're going to just go hit the old buy button. Where is that thing? Right there. Okay. So here's 1 minute, 2, 3, 4, so 14%. And that was not in the usual first part of the day. That was later in the day. So we're just going to take that because that's good pay. And does it go? Yeah, it goes a little bit further. Might keep going. Why would it keep going? Well, it's previous low, it's red, everything's looking good. So that's pretty much it for today. I did want to do an educational moment, just one. I know that our focus is not to do training here, but I wanted to include one little thing because it's kind of helpful. See, Tesla looks like a great trade right now. There's a problem with this one, and this is the point. These are such huge candles that you often get an overbought or oversold. So I'm going to hit the buy now button, even though I shouldn't. You see it bounced off of SB down here too, which is one of those unpublished numbers. We have it, but most people don't. Anyways, and so what's it doing? I'm losing money big time because that was such an oversold situation, and the market's turned green too. So I'm not going to get out of that. I'm just sure there, took the loss, but I wouldn't have got into it. So here's a review of today. So the first one I looked at was AMBA, and that made us in 2 minutes 15%. PCLN was 18% in 3 minutes, and GoPro, that's the cameras, it made us 14% in just 4 minutes in an unusual time of day, but it was a great setup. And Tesla, that's this one, was a loss because we didn't pay attention to the way too big candles, which we talk about. We call them monster candles. I think it's a good name for them. Anyways, I wouldn't have taken that trade, but I wanted to show you what happens when you don't know all the stuff and you running around, you're making losses as well as your gains. We don't want you to make losses. We want you to make gains. And we find that most people that take the course and do a little bit of practice are right 80% of the time within a few weeks of just practicing.
Yeah, that's right. And that's why this replay function that we have is so important. It mimics, it actually does not mimic the real market. It is the real market being replayed. You have the advantage of replaying it in real time. Just push the play button. It plays 1 minute is 1 minute. It also, you can fast forward it so that 1 minute is done in 30 seconds or 20 seconds or whatever it is that you set up, what Alan set up. And then you can also just push the forward button and move ahead at whatever speed you want. And of course, the advantage of playing the game at a higher speed is when you get into the real market, which goes in real time, everything is like slow motion, which means that you feel like you have lots of time to make your trades. You have lots of time to look at all the different charts that you may want to look at, lots of time to be confident that you're going to be getting into a good trade, not a poor trade. It's just like anything else. If you can process everything faster, it just becomes easier. And you look at all the different indicators. You say, "Yep, looks like a good one. Great." You get your confirmation. Now you go and you actually make the real trade in real time, in real live trading. But before you can do that, you need to practice. And perfect practice is what we're aiming for. Any last comments, Alan, before we hang up?
Actually, it was kind of cool. I talked to someone I know quite well, and they're being coached by a person that's got an IQ of 230.
Wow.
That's the top 3 on the planet. And he says, that's funny that you tell me about that practice is the thing that's so important, because that's exactly what he says. It's like, well, maybe we're on the right path here. So, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so thanks for joining us, everybody. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our episodes. And also below, we've got links to our courses, so you can take those, get a free month of the program, so you can kick the tires and start making some money on options. So thanks for joining us. www.wavesofprofit. He's Alan, I'm Scott, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.